The investigation of the sustainable consumer coffee story.
Coffee is one of the most popular consumed beverages in America. Each year, the U.S. spends $40 million on coffee. It's a source for 75% of the caffeine consumed nationwide. Each year, Americans drink 400 million cups of coffee per day, equaling 146 billion cups of coffee per year. This puts the U.S. at the leading consumer of coffee in the world, importing 1.6 million metric tons of it each year. That's equal to the weight of 500,000 grown African elephants, or 19.5 million grown men. That's almost twice the size of Los Angeles. So, is this coffee's story? Americans consume a lot of it.
Do you know coffee beans come from beautiful red berries? Coffee plants are bushes and grow in a native ecosystem full of more than 125 types of canopy trees, 240 species of migratory songbirds, natural pest controls, tropical ants. This flourishing ecosystem of life is the coffee bean's home. But here is the heartbreak. As the consumption of coffee grows, the songbirds are disappearing, the ants can't survive in eroded soil, and coffee's homeland is turning into an industrial factory.
Because of the industrialization of the coffee industry, we need to start thinking about how to consume coffee in a more sustainable, ethical, and ecologically responsible way. But how can we do this?
Within the coffee industry, there are 3 popular certifications that can be branded to companies who complete the required criteria. These certificates can ensure a number of environmentally and socially responsible behaviors. The 3 certificates we will look at now are Rainforest Alliance, Fair Trade, and Organic Trade Association.
The Organic Trade Association criteria requires these actions for coffee companies: no use of pesticides, sustainable crop rotation techniques, replenishment and conservation of soil fertility, and guarantees 100% organic coffee. The OTA doesn't require any social criteria, but it overall scores very well for the environment.
Now the Fair Trade Certified, which requires greater equity in international trade as to alleviate poverty, support of local farms, and ethical worker treatments, legal minimum wage, health safety, etc. Fair Trade is a large organization with very ethical and clear goals. However, Fair Trade doesn't require shade-grown coffee, controlled pesticide, or use of organic methods of harvesting or farming.
Finally, we have our Rainforest Alliance certification criteria: traceability and transparency of company, applicable social and labor legislations like legal minimum wage must be at least 16 to work, waste sustainable management techniques like water conservation, no deforestation and recycling, shade-grown plantations, certified pesticides only. So overall, Rainforest Alliance is a very good measure of a sustainable cup of joe.
Let's say you are shopping for a basic 12-ounce bag of ground coffee. In the store, you spot 3 different options: Folgers for $5.18, Starbucks for $7.55, and Equal Exchange for $9. So which should we buy? Let's put our sustainable consumer thinking cap on.
What is Folgers? Folgers is owned by J.M. Smucker's company, which also owns Dunkin' Donuts and Millstone. Annually, Smucker's takes in 300,000 tons of coffee. That's like 100,000 grown elephants. Less than 0.05% of that coffee is certified in some way. For years, Smucker's has continually declined to publish a sustainability report. However, in their 2011 report, they stated their future goals: to increase sustainability efforts in 5 years. What does that mean, though? Smucker's purchases coffee beans harvested from sun-grown plantations, meaning acres of rainforests are cleared for planting coffee bushes, which causes a loss of biodiversity, soil erosion, and the need to use heavy chemical pesticides to keep coffee plants healthy, which in itself poses great health hazards to the farmers and harvesters. And as of now, over 69% of shade-grown coffee in Colombia has been converted to sun plantations, therefore decreasing bird diversity by 50%. As you can see, Folgers doesn't have any of the 3 certifications or qualifications that come with those. Major companies like Smucker's may be cheap, but when in reality the true cost is much greater than that. So, if we want to buy coffee in a sustainable way, then Folgers is not the way to go.
Our second brand, which costs $7.55 and one of the most popular companies nationwide, is Starbucks. Starbucks has a slightly rocky past, but after a boycott by the Organic Consumer Association, Starbucks implemented fair trade policy to all of its espresso drinks. Therefore, 11% of their sales are fairly traded, making them the largest fair trade purchaser worldwide. Starbucks has created their own regulation certificate called CAFE, which has the same criteria as Rainforest Alliance certification. There is some worry of how well executed this policy is, but CAFE's basic equation is this: product quality and economic accountability plus social responsibility and environmental leadership creates responsibly grown, ethically traded coffee. This all said and done, if you find yourself having to purchase from a big name brand coffee organization, Starbucks would be the way to go.
Finally, we have Equal Exchange, our $9 bag of coffee. This small company, which began in 1986, is a for-profit, worker-owned business. It is now the oldest and largest fair trade organization in America. Equal Exchange is 100% fair trade certified. Along with fair trade, Equal Exchange has the Organic Trade Association stamp of approval and 100% organic coffee. Equal Exchange has the Rainforest Alliance certification, and it also ranks #1 on the Ethical Consumer Product Guide. Plus, there's a strong promotion for women equality in the workplace. Equal Exchange hits the idea of a sustainable consumer right on the head due to its low environmental impact, habitat conservation, social equity, and just trading policies. Out of these 3 coffee brands, the most sustainable choice overall is Equal Exchange.
As you can see, just one certification doesn't cover the whole story. Equal Exchange is sustainable in its environmental and social actions alike. To them, it is not just about fair traded products, it's also about how their product was grown.
It takes an educated consumer to understand the whole story of what goes into making their morning cup of coffee, or anything else they use for that matter.
That type of consumerism requires a broader, more mindful, global outlook on life.
So stop and take a moment to think about the people's lives you're helping and the birds' voices you're preserving by choosing a sustainable coffee supplier.
Next time you're about to purchase something, take a step back and think for a bit. Where did this come from? How is this affecting the world I live in?
If you can do this, even with just coffee at first, think about the good you're doing to help sustain this gorgeous world we've been given.